Okay, my name is Collins. Hello.
Kai, sasa unakuanga hivyo mpole. Usiongee
I'm
tu
shy,
vile
I'm
unaongeanga,
in the
surely.
month of love. Na nyinyi wakali.
Sasa ati by name.
Na nyinyi wakali.
Okay,
pole basi.
Mmeacha
Sorry,
kuja
sorry,
kuna
sorry.
Sasa nataka kulia.
I'm just saying, but
Wewe unajua vilio vya watu wenye kwa kina.
okay, and uko na mtoto. Ungepatia mtoto wako kazi kama hiyo?
Kwa nini na mimi ni governor?
No, I'm just asking.
The audacity it takes
Guys.
you for you not to want to explain how you abused someone else.
Collins, Edwin. Please, this is my
Okay.
show,
Pole.
right?
Haya, pole basi.
There are certain conversations I'm not
We are
ready
sorry.
to have now
We are
because
sorry.
of
And do you know why I said especially women? Because to me I feel like most of the women do not understand what being feminist. Yeah? Msinichape.
Nini
Yeah.
ongea?
No, mimi niko sawa.
Tunakusikia.
I'm just worried ukitoka kwa hii podcast hapo nje.
Yeah.
Maybe unarojo.
Most of the women do not understand.
Actually, for people to even understand what that is,
What feminism is.
everyone understood it differently.
Yeah, and
Kila
if
mtu
I'm a
alikuwa
man,
anatoa
how do
kutoa.
I
Yes,
refer
yes,
to myself
yes.
as a feminist? Because as a man you can't be a feminist.
Yes.
Yeah? But
Nini
but kuna tu vile the word was not landing well. Not because the word didn't make sense. We have to be clear about that.
Atukani wewe ujui ni
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing.
Yeah.
The conditioning of people to keep quiet, the conditioning of people to say they are fine.
Yeah, you are-
Be in a
eh.
community and be a baby girl.
ukikuwa
Yeah.
baby girl saa hizo wewe.
So that's what I'm talking about. Let's have communities
Yes.
that are safe for everyone to be who they are.
Yes.
Yeah. So I feel it's even better for men to ensure that the community are safer for everyone. Be a male champion. Call to action. Be a male champion. Yeah.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Urban Online Show. I hope all of you are doing well, okay? It's the month of love, so I hope all of you are receiving love with whatever you're watching this episode from. So I'm here also to acknowledge that we've taken long since uploading our weekly episodes, but this video is to show that we are back, and we are back with more interesting topics to talk about, more interesting guests to talk about different topics, generally more interesting conversations, so don't miss out on any. So today I want us to talk about something that you've been doing in the community, kind of, which is male champions. We'll go into that, but I have male who are going to help me unpack all that. But I don't know if you still want to introduce yourselves, because you are like regular people in the show right now. But just for someone that is watching for the first time and they have not met your episode Edwin or your episode Collins, just introduce yourselves. You never know.
Okay, my name is Collins. Hello.
Kai, sasa unakuanga hivyo mpole. Usiongee
I'm
tu
shy,
vile
I'm
unaongeanga,
I'm in the
surely.
month of love. Na nyinyi wakali.
What do you
Songesha
mean?
nini karibu.
Sasa ati by name.
Na nyinyi wakali.
Okay,
Pole basi.
Mmeacha kuja
Sorry,
kuna
sorry,
hasira.
sorry.
Sasa nataka kulia.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. My name is Collins.
Mm-hmm.
Las Colo. I'm also a male champion in Madare, and I'm glad to be here. I think last time we little usual culprit.
Culprits, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the usual culprit
He's in the house.
is in the building.
Yeah, we are glad to have you.
Yeah, good to start the year this way. By the end naitwa Edwin. Mnajua what Edwins are
What do you
doing in
mean
Kenya
by
right
the-
now. Sisi ndio Sifuna.
Wow.
Sisi ndio Sifuna.
see that
This is what we
coming.
are doing in Kenya
Sawa
right now.
Sifuna.
Yeah, tunataka kuwapeleka mbio by 2027.
Can you just
Hatutajua.
introduce yourself?
Simeshamaliza. Mimi ndio
Hizi
Sifuna.
style yake kujibu.
Anyway, my name is Edwin.
Yes.
And I'm a male champion in Nairobi, urban settlements, Madare. And yeah, happy to talk about that. Yeah.
Okay.
Sisi ndio Sifuna.
Utaanza kuita Sifuna.
Yes, Sifuna. For someone that anasikia the word male champion for the first time, what do you mean you are a male champion?
It's always more of a vague kind of name, so you can't like derive meaning from being like what does it mean to be a male champion.
Yes. Yeah.
It's yeah, but it is for us who are in the space, we are calling any male person who is determined in trying to look up to creating communities where all genders thrive. And when you're standing up for a gender that has been discriminated based on societal norms and things like that, then you're a champion. You're championing for maybe their rights, you're championing for their spaces, you're championing for their positions in the community. So that is generally what we always refer to when we call someone a male champion. We always don't know whether we call them male champion or female champion. Like, who are you? Are you a male, female champion or a male champion? Yeah, so that's why you can't really derive the meaning from the name.
I'll say, when you go to like a male, female champion, it's like we are positioning you to be championing for female. Alone. But you see what you said, it's like championing for like both genders.
Yeah. Both genders. This goes even past gender and talking about age. So it could be even children.
Yeah. So generally more of championing for equality. So that's why we don't want to call it male, female champions or male championing for females. So if you're championing for the rights of people in the community,
you're a male champion.
Yes, and in this case that are regards to gender, and when you talk about gender, you talk about also children and vulnerability. Yes. Sorry.
To emphasize on what Eddie was saying, I think you being called a male champion does not really mean that you have to fight for the boy child only.
Yeah.
Like, we are just calling you male because you are a male, but you fight for both women, children, boys, men, everyone in the. I think it's equality, just everyone in the community.
Yes. Okay, that makes sense. You two are fighting for equality in the community.
Yeah, I believe so. I want you know the.
I know that question was a really bad question.
Yeah, I want to believe
I've just realized it after asking it.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about it and I'm like, it could be, it could depend with how people are seeing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And people's perspective are totally different. So I look at what Kolo is doing and I'm like, what the hell
Actually,
are you doing?
I've realized it after asking that question.
But I want to believe I do so, trying just to look at, I've always been very keen on urban informal settlements. And for me, I feel it's because it's the future of residents when we are talking about developing countries. And because whenever people come from rural areas, they come to urban centers. Awendangi Lavington ati umetoka ushago umeenda unless when
uko na godfather uko babako,
which of course you always don't survive. Listen to story ya Jalango. Alikuja akapata anko yake fulani sijui wapi. Ukienda huko utakuwa unaosha magari, utakuwa you don't have that.
Yeah. You have to start from somewhere.
Yeah, and when you come and live in informal settlements, you find the space to struggle, and so almost 90% of people who come for the first time end up in urban informal settlements. These are not places that are bad per se. A lot of systems are not working, and that's why they are not conducive and they are not good spaces. But that's why we are here, to work towards making such spaces, better spaces for these people who come in. And so I've been up and down trying to see, how do children feel safe in these spaces? How do girls feel safe in these spaces? How do boy child also feel safe in these spaces? Yeah.
Okay, you mentioned something, and I thought of a discussion that you could have. The question you asked, or the statement you said, are urban informal settlements bad? Like something like that. So maybe it will be something that interests someone to know, because
are they bad, Kolo? Wewe umekuwa kwa ground. Umekuwa kwa ground.
Siwezi sema ni mbaya, but naweza sema si decent.
Yeah, there is a difference between being
because I'm going to give an example. Someone living in Lavington does not have the same problem with someone living in Mathare. Ajua wewe shida yako inaweza kuwa maji yako inakuja siku 3, but mtu wako kwa slum maybe anaipata once.
Mtu wako Lavington anapata maji kila siku.
No, but then si hivyo serious. Si hivyo vetu tunafikiri. Unajua Karen?
nampata, he did research.
Yeah, so
Pole researcher, kai, sorry.
Now he's talking
from the
yeah,
data, derived data.
but ni kitu iko.
Okay,
So it's not what we think, cause
yes.
hata South B, so unaweza fikiria like because they are living in big houses, hawezi kuwa na shida ya maji, but actually leo ndio wako na shida ya maji hata kutuliko. Mtu anaishi South C hata kwambia anapata maji mara 2. Unaona? So like kuna, but unaona hizo shida zenye anapata, yeye anapata maji mara 2 but akona tank. And like wewe mwenyewe so yake ikikuja,
so they have a way to like caution themselves from problems.
And like sisi wenyewe unapata mko kwa gorofa iko na floor 5, maji nakuja mara 3
na mnaiende huko chini.
Mnaendea chini.
Na ikikatika imekatika ndio hata kuna
na sijui mbona hizo maji azikujangi like usiku. Unaweza kosa kulala Edwin Jume. Ukilala unajua unakosa maji.
Actually me there was a time they realize kuna time nilikuwa naishi hapa kwa maana then I realize at Tuesday ama Monday niko sana kwa nyumba. Hiyo wiki yote
hauna maji.
Sina maji. So those are the kind of problem that I'm saying. So another problem that unaweza pata iko Eastland. Wezi compare rate yenye maybe Eastland stories za teenage pregnancy wenye ziko na ukikombea maybe place kama Odhaiga, because najua both areas ziko but utapata slum ni rampant because kuna various factors that zina lead wasichana waingie kwa teenage pregnancy. So tina blame nasema tu. So there's a lot of factors ama problems zenye ziko slum ama Eastland zenye ni different kabisa na huko. So shida ziko, but acha niseme the fact that we are alive we are good.
There is a very serious point yenye umesema, and as someone who has looked at urban planning in details, we would say that there is a lot of problems that are facing urban centers despite who you are
or where you are.
So for example, currently the government is not able to work on that ratio of the amount of water needed per individual living in an urban center. So definitely we have deficit of water. Now the problem comes in on your capability of cautioning yourself against these problems. So for example, if we don't have enough roads and there is traffic, if I'm rich, I can use an helicopter to move from one point to another. But if I'm poor, so you see this problem, it's one problem that is affecting everyone.
It's affecting you. It's
and
different.
That then gets into a lot of social issues. Because now if for example you are a girl living in an informal settlement, and you're not financially, or your parents are not financially stable, and you have to please someone else to get your basic needs, or you're a boy and you also need you have your needs and you have to like nyonga someone so that you satisfy your needs, they then turn from just normal urban issues to social issues and sometimes to crime.
I think someone said if I have a problem and I cannot fix that problem and the government cannot fix that problem, I'll make sure my problem becomes your problem. And do you know what that means?
Wow.
So
what does that mean?
Nakupea example. For example, of course wase wana mapema huko. And this guy amewako na mtoto. Mtoto anahitaji kukula, anahitaji kuvaa, ndio na hana hiyo do. And the government haiwezi kushughulikia kila kitu, right? So nikisema hiyo shida lazima itakuwa yako, it will mean wewe ndio utasolve your problem na utaisolve vizuri.
Na huyo wewe ni jirani ama
let's not go into that conversation.
No, I'm just saying but the fact that mtu anafikiria hivyo means that there is a problem.
The fact that it is a common saying in the community, it's a problem.
Okay. Me, don't let your problem be my problem.
No, you'll solve for me that problem whether you like it or not. But that's not a good mentality.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not good, but we have to live with it. For me, I'm like cascading this down to, of course, you realize that by the time you're talking about social issues, already tushafika kwa ground.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But unaweza pata tu kuna kale ka switch moja tu that can solve a lot of things. So nimetoka uko juu mali saying that maybe employment is the problem. But employment iko hapa. it goes down to a lot of things, including crime, extrajudicial execution. It goes to pregnancy. But imeanzia wapi? So you realize that when you are in places of authority, which I have to say that at times people in authority wants to do too much. At times you don't need to do too much. You just need to deal with one thing. So for example, if I want to solve extrajudicial execution and crime, maybe I should not face those two problems. I just need to fix something else that will then fix this other thing. So for example, if we try and create something around or solve something around employment, itasaidia mashida nyingi.
So leta nini green army, climate works.
But you see, now you're coming to solve.
No, I'm just saying.
You're coming to solve very small things.
Wewe unataka tuingie kwa green army?
No, sitaki kuingia. I'm just saying. But
wewe unajua vilio vya watu wenzako kwa green army.
Okay, nimesema na reason. I think the main problem is as much as wasiona vijana wanalia hakuna job na serikali mama kuchipini kupatia watu job. The problem is they're not giving them a decent job. Kwa sababu tunataka tutumie climate works. Do you know how much they earn?
I don't.
Edwin, do you know?
No. Is it 5,000?
5,000 per 2 weeks, which is equivalent to per month. Kwa sababu ni unaingia 2 weeks, shift ingine inaingia 2 weeks. Hiyo si ni mwezi mzima, but mshahara mnalipwa the same. So, if for example you are a governor, na nakuombea.
But now
if for example you are a governor.
Yes.
And uko na mtoto, ungepatia mtoto wako kazi kama hiyo?
Kwa nini na mimi ni governor?
No, I'm just asking.
Wezi.
Yeah. So that's the problem, because if uwezi patia mtoto wako that kind of job, now una expect 5,000 him sustain, that means
but
that
Kolo, I have a problem with you. That's why I'm not even keeping cool for you to finish.
No, just
point.
wait for me to finish.
The point is, why are you considering that thing a job?
Yes,
that's not a job.
That's what I'm asking.
That was just something like an initiative to keep people busy.
Yeah,
it's not a job.
It's not a job.
It does not even meet any criteria of defining a job.
It's not a job.
No, but
what's a job?
Okay, but sikuwa wanajua ni kazi.
No,
even kwa ground wanajua.
So for example, if I call you Kolo, nikwambie ni aje hapa hii studio leo ni chafu.
Okay.
Si unifagia hapa nikupe 20 cups. Sasa hiyo ni kazi.
No, but unajua the thing
lakini,
is
unajua kwa ground
watu nini kazi. Actually mpaka kuna tu ipigania. So me I was
now the fact that someone is doing something kwa ground, does that mean that is it? Like if
that
community is taking it as a job,
our
politicians are taking it as a job.
You see why I didn't want us to go into this nini, because it will spike a lot of
but kuna
hot
watu umeleta issues na governors. How watu anyway, let's continue.
But then unajua wamesema wanataka ku do away with the public finance committee. They are saying that they are harassing them.
But you know do you know the
audacity
it takes you for you not to want to explain how you have used someone
Collins, Edwin, please, this is my show, right?
There
are certain conversations I'm not ready to have now because of
okay.
Yes, please. Let's leave such conversation.
Yes,
and we have glasses on top of the table.
So,
there are things. So please.
Okay.
Yeah. Can we continue now?
Shall we?
Mmefanya hadi nikasahau
we shall.
But
the people shall continue.
But what I can, from all the conversations we had, you're bringing the basis of having male champions in the community. Because we've started bringing the social issues that are there in urban, informal settlements, and even comparing how these problems might be the same in the different urban areas, but the fact that they affect us differently depending on where we are living. Yeah. So that means it's important to have you as male champions in the community, because you are championing for equality. And when we talk about equality, we have said it's not only gender equality, but looking at the things that are affecting or contributing to the vulnerability of children, men, the society generally, right? Yeah. So now there's something I really want to drive into saizi. Actually sasa mmeleta hizo stories za nini, akili yangu sasa imefocus tu hapo kwa governor na wataki nini. Anyway, in the space of having male champions, like, is this something that people are buying? Like, for example, the communities for now knows you as a male champion, you're championing for social issues, blah 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 blah. And previously you had like friends that maybe are contributing to these things that you're championing for. So how is that? I don't know if that question imefika.
For me, I can say like, remember the first code that we trained was a team of 10, but now everywhere you just see a male champion. So the fact that you are hearing about male champion means that there's an impact in the community, and I'm glad that. Okay, the only message that naonanga na stick sana, of which nilikwambia last time, is that stories are vifairo or 300 years. So the fact that nikitembea base kwa industry watu, because wewe kuitwa male champion, I mean that umefit, but doing what a male champion does ama should do already, hata kama ujiambia you are a male champion, inakuwa kama male champion. So the fact that unasikia watu wakiongea such kind of conversation, for me I feel like
message ilifika. Okay.
Yeah, hata kama si yote, but at least a certain percentage ilifika.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least we can start by that. Unajua change inaanza gradually pole. So kama wameshika hiyo ya 300 years.
But the fact that hiyo wameshika 300 years inamaanisha there's a lot of conversation ndio afike to this 300 years wameongelelea. So ni vetu ndio inakuaga sana.
Okay, makes sense. Edwin?
Yeah, I think it's more relatable and fits into our society. If there is one thing we can't push back against, and we have tried, this culture. We know that we have very backward kind of societal norms that we always fight against. But how difficult is it for societies to change? It's very difficult, right? And so when ideas like feminists came, yeah, you see, it was like two things that we really struggled to get people to buy in, and we had a lot of critics about the entire feminism thing, and so
actually for people to even understand what
feminism is,
everyone understood it differently.
Yeah, and if I'm a man, how do I refer to myself as a feminist? Because we as a man you can't be a feminist, but but kuna tu vile the word was not landing well, not because the word didn't make sense. We have to be clear about that. We didn't even have problems with the entire thing. Of course, it's a foreign concept, and just like any other theory out there, any other practice out there, we have the bad things, we have the good things based on your own
misunderstanding of things.
So it's normal. I don't want to get into that conversation. But what I'm saying is that concept was not really resonating with our societies as Africans.
Especially to women.
Especially to... I do why. Wacha nimalize point yangu itafuata. Because I don't want to reinforce. I don't know what you mean by that. I know when it comes to feminism, you have to be very keen on what you're saying. So I was saying it didn't really land well with our societies and culture.
Yeah.
The reason why I love the aspect of male champion, and why maybe it explains why it's being adopted first. Number one, it was not opposing what the culture has always pushed for.
Yeah.
It was more of supporting, saying that, hey, you know what, males are always maybe the head of families. So even your culture yetu tumekuwa brought up that, hey, you know what, as a man, you are the one to say you should do this, you should do that. You as a man, you are. And so when male champion concept came in, we were trying to look at how do we use masculinity in a good way. Of course, the society wants us to push that masculinity, but should we push it ndio tupige watu and show people we are strong? No.
Yeah.
But we can do it to make our community safe. So as a man, if you see someone doing wrong to a child, you stand up using your masculinity and say, no, apana, don't do that. If you see sexual harassment taking place, you stand in as a man. And I think it really found a place within our culture, so that there was no friction between the idea and what the culture believes. It's more of like, I'm supporting what you're saying, yes, but let's go this direction. So male champion has always been a nice concept that fits.
Okay.
Okay.
Be careful with what you
Yes,
say.
of course. I might say. Anyway, ukiangalia from the last episode yenye Alvin na the lady walikuwa, do you know nilikuwa na skiza and kuna several things that Alvin alikuwa na highlight kuhusu, alikuwa na touch kuhusu feminist. And do you know why I said especially women? Because to me I felt like most of the women do not understand what being feminist. Yeah? Msinichape.
Niongee.
No, mimi niko sawa. I'm just worried ukitoka kwa hii podcast hapo nje.
Yeah.
Maybe
most of the women do not understand what being a feminist. You know I'm saying that because after hii jina feminist imeshika ground, like wasewali dhani kukuwa feminist ni kukuwa like kila saa kubishana na wanaume. Like wewe una feel wewe ndio unafaa kukuwa the top baby. And unajua that's very dangerous because trying to prove to a man that you are very strong and you are very dominant. A big problem.
Yeah.
And I think sijui tu nini iliingia community cause the fact that msichana anaona kupigana na mwanaume like physical war anafilie ni feminist. I don't think that's a true definition of being a feminist. Is no. So there was a big problem na hiyo the word feminist especially to women.
Yeah.
Because to me I believe kukuwa feminist you are fighting for equality. You are fighting for girl child, you are fighting for boy child. See them peke. No.
Yeah.
You are fighting for everyone in the community including children. But ukiweka feminist ni about girl child kupigana na mwanaume, then I feel like no, actually that's toxic feminist. No. That's being toxic. Yeah. So the word feminist inafaa kuja na good things. Like nikipata hata unaona mtoto amefanywa kitu mbaya, unajaribu champion something to happen. I feel like that's being a feminist. But kupigana na mwanaume.
Yeah. I really don't want this to come out as your opinion because it's fact, but someone is going to take it as your opinion. So let me read this, June. A feminist is simply a person. So it can be anyone. And that's why I was saying, as much as men were finding it difficult to call themselves feminist, as a man, you can be a feminist. Man, woman, or any gender, right?
Yeah.
Who believes in and supports the social, political, economic, and personal equality of sexes, not of specific male or female, of sexes.
Yes.
So it can be anybody. In other words, someone who advocates for women and men and people of all gender to have equal rights, opportunities, and treatment under the law and in society. So you see, even male champions are feminist. But again, I'm also wondering, just the same way Kolo was wondering, who brought it in a way that now it's men against women. That happened to even the word toxic feminism, it's nowhere. It just came because of that war between the two genders. The word should not even exist. Like, what do you mean by toxic feminism? Hakuna kitu kama hiyo.
But I think naweza kupea example na what I've seen. There's a time like so unajua venye mtaa sana kuanga like group of ladies, ni group ya fulani. So there's a time kwa group members, so the lady alipigwa na mtu wake. So si as feminist wanawake gang. You know what they did? Wanaenda kachapa the guy. So to me, do you think that's being feminist? Yes, ni kweli. Do you think that's being feminist?
Aya. Kia. Mr. Jibu swali yako.
Yeah.
So, okay, when I went for some feminism trainings and sessions sometimes back with Akina Mama Africa. I don't know if it was right to mention that. But
no, shout out. They are doing a good job in that space.
And such conversations, because they have specialized in feminism, such conversations were coming out. And the misunderstanding comes now in the different types of feminism. Because the different types of feminism have different types of approaches. Yeah? So the feminism that looks at political indifferences in gender, the liberal feminism, it connects how politics and political historic that undermine gender equality democratically. So you look at what the constitution or the democracy say about gender
Even
and
our
stuff
governments
like that.
have
Yes,
set up
stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there is a type of feminism that is cruel, and that is what most people have picked.
Yeah.
It's called radical feminist. Radical feminists, it's uprooting the problem, like the entire problem.
Okay.
So if like when you see that in a community, maybe, for example, gender-based violence is happening because of these men. So how do you do away with like these men? Like there is no alternative of going through blah 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 blah. So it's uprooting the problem from the root. The problem affecting equality, affecting from the root. So that is what most people pick when talking about the radical feminism. And it I think it's originated, from the times of oppression and stuff like that. Most of the things were radical, like people are being mistreated, people are being blah blah blah. So when you want to deal with the radical way, so that is what people picked. But there are other types like ecofeminism, transactional, the one that connects the different genders. So they were saying that it's okay for someone to go with what they want to go with, because all of them are like looking towards there. But the problem comes in when you want to not give someone the entire information about what feminism is, because most people, they end up just preaching about radical feminism, which is majorly used when you're talking about when you're trying to deal with issues of slavery, oppression, because no things like that you have to uproot them. Like if someone is enslaving women or men, like there is no democratic way of going.
We go the Mau
Yeah,
Mau
you have
way.
to enter the Mau Mau way, because that is also
Yeah.
how we were able to like be where we are.
Independent.
But that's very radical. If you are looking at men in the society as colonizers and oppressors and
Not men in the society.
No, I'm saying
like
of course it's not like women are being enslaved.
Yes.
In current situation,
that
the
was
thing
like
is,
just an example, like for
okay.
example, sijasema slavery, like for
But
example.
the keyword maybe it's oppression.
Yes. Okay, if it includes oppression, like for example, when you're talking about gender-based violence, and we figure a point where now, so the right thing to do is to go radical and uproot huyu mwanamke atoke kwa huyu mtu, like there is no conversations regardless.
Which I also have a problem with that.
Sasa, now that's where they were saying the problems comes when you just dwell on like
One gender.
Yes, one gender and the radical aspect, because there are a lot of different ways of approaching feminism. So they were saying it's okay to pick which one you want, because now if you don't understand ecofeminism, maybe you don't want ecofeminism, you don't want the liberal feminism, you want those ones, the Marxist, there is one called Marxist. So there are different types that explains different approaches about going to things. Yes.
it is.
Right, am I?
Liberal.
Yeah. So that is it about like feminism and stuff like that. Sawa. So you're male feminist you're male champions. So tumesema how people view it in the community and stuff like that. And it's good thing you're saying that actually we just took a break to learn about feminism size and don't realize, which is also a different topic that personally
we can find time to talk about it.
Yes, and sometimes mimi hata nakumbuka after going through that training and sessions, hakuna pali nilielewa watu na train kuhusu feminism, because obviously it's like it involves culture, like cultural beliefs, and extracting cultural beliefs from people, it's very difficult. So actually they were even saying there are a lot of books on feminism. So you, Collins, will be a very foolish, stupid person if you choose to do something because that person said this is the right feminism. And a lot of people have written about feminism. So walikuwa nasema there is no day, hata kama wao like ni expert, it might be difficult for them to convince other people. So if you want to really fight for a cause of something, make sure you go read about it, understand about, so that usikue like influenced na a cause of
Kuelewa vitu
different
zako.
people. Kuelewa pia vitu zako, something like
Okay.
that. So that was just a short break ya feminism.
Okay.
Back to male champion, which is like more or less the same thing.
Okay.
I'm glad that mnasema it's something male and people in the community are taking up well, because at least you hear the conversations. Yeah. But now there are challenges, and now these are like the main thing you wanted us to talk about, right? Were you trained to be a male champion?
I think not specific training. It's a series of trainings and engagements that then builds up to how you behave, and then you adopt. It's not a qualification. Being a male champion is not a qualification. It's more of a lifestyle. How do you want to live?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, should I rephrase that question? Not really trained, but okay. Because for you to fight a cause, for you to fight, maybe talking about gender equality or the vulnerability of children in the community, you have to know about them, right? Like, to understand. So how did you get those information?
To learn about
to
them.
learn about them. That is what
But
I'm asking.
for me, I still think your previous question was very relevant, because it's important for people to know that it is not a qualification.
Okay.
Because I know we have someone who would want to do what we are doing, but anasema, nitapata training wapi? Si lazima must I join that group? Sasa nitakuwa naenda huko kila siku ndio nikuwe male champion. No, you can be a male champion wherever you are.
I think that's why I said, like, you don't have to be trained, or like there are some people who are male champions and they don't know that they are male champions.
Hata wewe ndio unaweza muita lakini ajue.
Kuna wasa wanafanya vitu mzuri kwa community, na ni vile tu sasa huwezi sema ati wewe ni male champion juu unafanya, but we know
that they are doing a good job.
Yeah.
So it is, for me, I think the question was very, very, very relevant. To the second one, where we are saying, where did we get this skill? For me, I think it's picking from a series of trainings. Starting with, let's look at children, and we are getting deeper into safeguarding policy. How should we make our environment safe for children? How do we make our families safe for children? That is only based on children, right? And you become so good at it, you know how you should handle. You could even identify children that are being neglected, violated, and things like that. Do you know the referral pathways when you get a child that is in problem and all that? So all that, then your party watoto tuweke kando.
Yes. That's why I said last time, you don't have to be an expert.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah.
Si lazima kuwe like ati unajua kila kitu, but at least kuwa knowledgeable on some issues, because I expect like acha niseme expect. I'm expecting like at least kuwa unajua safeguarding policy like unako kwa community, because ndio hizi vitu zikuja, that means that there was a problem yenye ilikuwa very rampant. Unaona? Because for example ndio kitu kama maybe child protection policy ikuje, inamaanisha watoto something bad was really happening to children. Unaona? So like
you should just be aware.
Yeah. At least si lazima tu uende
ati sasa wewe ni lawyer unajua hizi but you just know that mtoto afanye treatiwe hivi.
Na hizi vitu actually realize ni vitu tu basic like wewe unajua tu uwezi kuwa unaweka mtoto njaa sijui
the whole day.
Mtoto ni mchafu amevaa nguo imeraruka, like hizi vitu si ati ni vitu zingine complex.
Unamwangalia na fundi hivi unashangaa nani ndio fundi
the whole day.
So let's get back to njia yako kwanza. So like si lazima ujue like ati saa tu ujue ni act gani nasema hivi. No, like hizi vitu tu ndogo.
Like just knowing that mtoto anafaa kuwa msafi, and that
mtoto hizi lala nje usiku.
Exactly. Anafaa ingie kwa nyumba by saa ngapi. So for me that then side ya watoto, and then we have had the trainings on girls, specifically girls, to look at things like teenage pregnancy, to look at things like sexual harassment, to look at things there was a lot of things around that, even in public transport. We even went to specific sectors. So we are not just looking at sexual harassment in broad, but specifically sexual harassment in households. And then on a consent na nini. Then we go to sexual harassments in community, safe communities. How sexual harassment
Eish.
in nini
Okay.
What are sexual harassment?
No,
in public transport where let's focus
anasema components za psych zenye hata mimi nishasahau.
By the way, Stephanie kusifiti hiyo ya kwanza.
Eh,
Unaona kwa
big
public
up
transport.
for that,
Yeah,
that
kwa public
video.
transport. My friend, there's a time mpaka tukao tumesimamishwa kwa gari. Unaingia unaona venye pastor na preaching.
Nakumbuka.
Una
By then
preach-
I wasn't like
Yeah, but I think most of the time tukao tunaendanga pale Huruma.
Good
And I
old
think
days.
Saikwan watu wa pikipiki. My friend walikuwa naeka kwa mkutano unaambia ukweli. Ndio na venye it's very painful kwa mtu mkubwa kuambia ukweli. Alafu upate ni kweli kitu. So Saikwan by the ilikuwa imemeja sana kwa public transport which to me I feel like nikiona msee kama na nini tonga that guy
ule wa
Robert
stage
nafurahia nikiona akipreach such kind of messages kwa other boda people. To me it's a plus by the
so you see hapo pia knows expert as you are saying but just speaking those lessons pia juu and now of late watu wameingilia boy child mental health sijui speak out allow yourself to be vulnerable and things like that. And I know we will be talking about families and we'll be talking about I think it's picking those all things and allowing them to influence how you live your day-to-day life already gives you a space to become a very good male champion.
Okay. Okay. Hey, I was just impressed how you like mentioning the between details. Sasa nikakumbuka tu.
Man, I'm Edwin. You guys are forgetting.
Sasa nimeacha what I wanted to say.
Kwani tunaanza mpendi sana.
It's okay.
But the fact that anakumbuka hata mimi niko impressed.
Yes, I'm impressed. Because
I'm impressing you guys.
That component like by component.
No, component yes like what happened in shine.
Wewe tuendelee. Sasa mnataka kuwater down my shining. Okay. Anyway, tuendelee.
Tumekuacha but psyche play a bigger role especially in Madhara.
Yes. For maybe someone that doesn't know, Psych is Safe and Inclusive Cities in Full, a project that looks at the safety of young people in urban centers. Yes, settlement. Yeah. Haya. Kai, kuna sema nini? There's something I'm driving at. This information, like, what imprompts you? Because unasema to assume. Na Alva alisema tusi-assume. Because alikuwa anasema we assume men know. Like for example, tukiongelea ule msichana akisema unafaa kujua stories za family planning. Na Alva akauliza nani anafaa kuniambia? So the assumption that men know. So talking about these things that you people are saying, their basic knowledge, stuff like that. Is this something that is basic to everyone? Do every male know about these things that you people have talked about? Because I'm trying to get into also, because these are things that you cannot mess with. Like you have to get the right information also. Because for example, in talking about children and neglect and child protection policies, you have to know what you're talking about. The signs that unaona of child neglect and child harassment, all those things, you have to know what to look out for. So how do you get this information? And do like sasa si wale wenye wamekuja kuambiwa, do they like get this information? Or for someone like maybe Robert that you're saying, someone had to reach to him ndio ajue ndio pia ambie watu wengine. That is what I'm trying to later.
Yeah, this was a question that we really had issues with, and I think it was one of the concerns of the previous guests' kind of view. Like, men should do this, men should do that, men should do this, men should do that, boys should do this. But who tells you that they know that they should do that? That is that ni kama you are assuming walizaliwa na manual.
Yeah.
Yes, that is what I'm trying to say.
And that is not true that men know. Let me just be clear. I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for the exposure with this project, with the people around me who are very interested in such issues. And so within that environment, you learn a lot. And then it leads you to become who you are. But again, I'm like, a lot of violations of equality, or let me just say inequalities within our communities are affecting us on a daily basis. So you either choose to be a victim or you choose to address it. And as young boys and men in the community, we may think that girls are always the ones affected a lot. But maybe that is not true. Maybe their status is talked about more.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And so you realize that boys and young men also suffer, but they themselves don't talk about it. Organizations talking about male issues are very few. And families talking about male issues is like, unataka tuanze kuongelea wanaume aje. And so it's not that they're not affected. It's just like no one is giving it a space. And I want to say something about a space just after I've finished this point. And so that leaves me with only one thing. If you're going to be affected with any issue, you should not just sit back and wait until someone comes and salvages you from that problem. And that's why I've always been saying that, hey, I know this information is not publicly available. I know no one is coming to talk to you about this. But can you just jipe tuka responsibility kidogo? Yeah. Because if you don't, the alternative is worse. So for me, I'm like, I know I'm not going to get information about mental health as a man. Sitapata. Hakuna mtu atakuja kuniambia kujeni tuende tuongelee. And even if it's there, it's just like one organization out of 20. So I have to go out of my way to look for this information myself. And it's so it's unfair, yes. It's bad, yes. But men out there, boys out there, you should know that it's your responsibility to know these things. So yes, haukuzaliwa na manual. Yes, I know you don't know, but put in some effort.
At least know.
At least, yeah, just find a way.
You're not an expert.
Sasa tutakaa tu kwa sababu kuna organizations dealing with boys. You can't do that. And tukienda base, and this can spread like fire. Tukienda zile base zetu. You one person who has known one thing, make it an obligation that everyone in that environment know. Yeah. So when I know about issues of consent, I'll go and talk about it with my men pale base. Yeah. If I know of which other issues are we talking about, mental health, being vulnerable, I should be able to go and talk about this. And I know boys out there they'll laugh first time, they'll laugh second time, the third time they'll always be laughing. But siku yenye mtu atagonga like the bottom, atakumbuka that so and so ndiye anaongeleanga ikitu. Which is a good thing. Like, you don't expect that conversation to go like, hey, unajua aje hivi ndio mental health iko, and then the boys will be like, yeah, tumekuelewa. No, it won't go like that. They'll be like, we kwenda, we hizo nini unatuambia. Of course they'll say like that. So expect such reactions. But trust you me, siku yenye atakuwa kwa shida, atakupigia juu anajua wewe ndio unaongelea hiyo mental health.
I think that the fact that msana sema unuledi una mental health, at least
already is a good thing.
Yeah, kuna kitu anakumbuka kama anaweza kukumbuka such kind of conversation inamaanisha anakumbuka what you say.
Huyu ni ule Collins wa child safety, sijui ule nani wa male champion.
And I think pia acha ni attack government kidogo. Yeah, instead of
government is our business, we won't tire.
Instead of
the
people shall, yeah.
The fact that government unaona hizi maitangwa hizi kitu ni tangwa billboard, instead of weka picha yako kubwa hapo alafu andike maybe Edwin na maendeleo.
Usitumie example lingine.
No, unataka nitumie nani? Okay, acha instead of mimi kuweka pale picha yangu mimi kama
mimi na yangu na yeye mtaona.
Koloa maendeleo. Ama instead of wewe pastor kuweka picha yako na bibi yako pale kwa kanisa.
Yes.
I think such kind of no, that's not your church. Sisi ndio nini?
Church.
No, but that's not the point. The point is instead of wewe kuweka picha yako na bibi yako mkiwa mmeshikana hapo. So preach that kind of
picha usikuumiza.
Yeah. On a serious note, because we already know you. Yeah? Okay, acha ni assume Edwin ni pastor.
Yes.
Ameweka picha yake na bibi yako ameshika. We already know you are couples. you don't have
and
to
we come to
remind
your
her.
church
every Sunday na si miss, instead of wewe kuweka picha yako hapo na bibi yako kwa umeshikana, such kind of messages, cause of course najua utaongelelea kwa kanisa. So mimi nikipita nione kwa billboard, nione hata umeweka tu maybe ka image inaongelea story ya mental health ama hata mambo ya sheria ama sexual offense act, at least every time takuwa napita hiyo bill, actually sisi cause ni ngumu sawa billboard.
I like the aspect unaleta, because nilikuwa naiongelea from an individual perspective, and then now you are also bringing it from like, okay, we know this information is not rare, but we can do something about it
so from what I've gotten, so kwanza niko na maswali nakuja kwa akili yangu. Wewe shida uko nayo pasta kuweka picha ama kuweka picha na bibi yake?
But most of them wanakaka na bibi yao.
Because I'm fine your struggle. But I'm getting what you're saying.
I like what you're also saying, that church see how church the
yeah,
I get what you're saying, because you're saying it's true, and you say that it's true when talking about issues of, for example, mental health, men knowing about this thing. It's true. Organizations, maybe they cannot cover all of it, maybe because they're like,
they're also looking at they're also only doing what they can fund. So if the funders are not interested, then it's another thing.
But what Collins is saying now, what role that the government also has in passing that information,
and the churches
and churches in passing such information.
They're called social institutions.
Social institutions, which is, I think it's a very good point, because tunaenda tunapata billboard ya
kwanza unajua kwa nini nasema kanisa, cause unajua some of these churches wanakuwa na branch, unapata kuna branch moja Mathare, moja Korogosho, but ule pastor mimi ama archbishop ni mmoja. So ukienda kwa church zote una realize usi ni pastor fulani usi ni pastor. So instead of kuweka picha yako na bibi yako kama meshikana kwa nini, so unaona hizo branches for example kama sitam ukiweka, do you know sitam inapata like acha niwaite clients ama ni congregation ama sijui so
members
all members, for example maybe 200 members wameona Mathare, 200 members wameona hiyo message ulikuwa umeweka hapo nje Korogosho. Hiyo ni target.
Like churches can be a very good way to disseminate some of this information. Okay. So we need to look at our social institutions. Of course, we are not forgetting families. That's the basic social institution that we have. It could really help. Help.
So at this point, you've already gotten to the last aspect of this conversation that I want us to finish. What can be done better? And I think you've started mentioning it, like the social institutions should also take part in having these conversations, because maybe the organization that you are depending on, this is not their areas of funding, so they cannot go there. They also need funding to make sure
do the work they're doing.
So what are you doing as an institution that is there for the community and for the society, and you have an audience of like a larger number of people, taking just 5 minutes from your sermon or from hata kama umeka mi weka tu billboard na bibi yako, but hapo chini unaweza hata kwa message.
What is always I'm also looking at the intent. What is the intention?
Unataka tuone unashika bibi yako.
Police, now your problem is becoming a different one.
Hata mimi nimeanza kujua,
but at least
shida yako ni mshikana. So kwa hiyo billboard iko na wamesimama tu kando hivyo ungekuwa na shida.
I also have a problem with it, cause unaona hiyo billboard most of them zinalipia na truth be told,
a lot of money.
A good man. Truth be told, hiyo si ati ametoa pesa kwa mfuko wake, ni pesa ya kanisa. Most of them ni
sadaka yako.
Sadaka yangu. So sadaka yangu ikitumika
vibaya, you feel
cause mimi najua bibi yako ni sana.
Hiyo hata ile basi usipeleke ile tight kwa church, uchukue uende weke billboard yako na uweke message ya child protection.
They realize the religious institutions, they are one of the most powerful institutions.
True.
That's very true.
So unaweza imagine maybe hata Catholic, hata si Catholic mostly waweke picha zao na bibi yao. So kama Catholic pekee
hawana wapi.
Sina issue ni sawa, but so unaona kama church tu ama hiyo Catholic church ukipata ameka billboard pale inaongelea story ya watoto wafai kudhulumiwa.
Most of them zinakwanga za shule, wana advertise
watoto wafai kudhulumiwa. Na hata by the way unaona the fact that watoto ni wa shule yako already imekupatia nini ruhusa.
If you are an institution like Catholic, you're controlling a lot of schools, because how many
Yeah.
Catholic girls schools do we have? How many
Yeah.
Catholic mixed schools do we have? How many boys schools do we have that are Catholic? And you have these children for 4 years. 4 years you can change someone's mentality. Mukitengeneza tu a very good program.
Yeah.
That enrolls in all your schools.
Yes,
that
yes.
Now venye wanaendanga huko like every
Aha.
Sunday lazima kafadha
Yeah.
yes
So
asubuhi.
I have a very controversial idea.
Actually I wanted
A
to
very
ask something,
controversial
ngoja.
idea.
Nilikuwa nataka kuuliza kitu ngoja kweli something by the way lakini what was ni ukweli wewe ni mkazo.
Ni mkadho.
A very strong Catholic.
Fathers like it's real. Fathers don't marry.
Yes.
Okay, I've never like
It's in public domain. Catholic,
I know I've seen it. I've seen movies and
Yeah.
I've seen but I've never like really in real
No,
life
they
just like,
don't. Yeah.
okay, sawa endelea.
I can never be a father.
You can never be a father.
You
It can never
I want to be. I want to put a disclaimer there.
Yeah.
That because someone will ask me, oh, this, tulisikia nini. I'm always saying, at our fathers are still human beings.
Yeah.
So the way the law says we should not steal,
But people
but
still.
people always.
What are you trying to say now?
What I'm always saying
only-
is that zile controversial stories zenye ziko huko nje, because someone will start a story with that June mnasema hivi hii siku si walisema si tuliona hii
tuliona ule okay
Yeah.
tunasema tu like
Yes.
okay
this is what is there conventionally
there that fathers are not supposed
to do this. So ukipata
but
maybe
we are not saying they are doing or they are not doing we are just
that is up to someone
Yes,
because
okay.
kila mtu na life yake.
Yeah.
Personal.
lakini
that's
mbona
personal.
wana break rule na wao ni fast
Na hata hiyo si rule peke yake wana break. Someone can decide to steal sadaka. That is also something that we don't talk about but people do.
Yeah.
So it's that is up to someone. It's Stakangi
yeah.
story.
And actually
Yeah,
we
so
are not even religious
the last thing I wanted to say about spaces and men before we go to the next thing, because I know the next thing will be us listing the things that we need to maybe propel so that we may have better environments to have better male champions, is that this institution we are not talking about, which is family. Umejua tumeongelea churches, tumeongelea of course our official institution like the government, but tujaongelea family.
yeah
I think families needs to create space for men or men to be vulnerable, right? Because it's a very good start. Mtoto mwanaume akianguka, how you respond is very important. Mtoto dem akianguka, how you respond very important.
nini imekuangusha
Yeah,
Unaanguka nani mwanaume? Na unalia kwanza. Kwani mimi ndio nimekuangusha?
yeah, there is things that
wewe ulikuwa
you
unafanya
know
nini ukaanguka
we blame men
Yeah.
for not speaking when they are adults.
Yeah.
But this thing, something you've been conditioned to do for over 17 years, you cannot change. Mi niko university, sister yangu ako university, she calls home, she gets pocket money. I call home, they ask me, kwani hujapata kibarua? I'm like, hey guys, I'm also
kwani mlinituma shule nisome ama nitafute kibarua
Actually, I have a friend mwenye alikuwa no, it's a funny story. Yeah. So the guy alikuwa anasomea huko Nakuru. Then so like most of the time unajua hajuani na watu Nakuru. Yeah, but of course kuna university student huko. So the guy alikuwa anatumiwanga mahindi shule.
anatumiwa mahindi. Sasa aenda shaka apike ama nini?
Sasa ni chakula. Cause akitisha pesa tumiswali on solution. So nilikuwa na muenjoy lakini niambia my friend hata kama ni njama. Then later on I can explain here. Akaambia my friend hujai kwa university so you don't know the kind of problem that napitia. Ukiona mimi nimekubali kutumwa mahindi mimi si wazimu najua. So like unaona mimi already nilikuwa nishamjaji juu ni boy namuuliza wewe na wewe mahindi aje. Unaona? So like unaona tunakoga kujudge kwa sababu ni mwanaume so unasema anatumwa kwani
nimekuwa public university siku rahisi. Siku rahisi.
Yeah.
I'll have to be very I think even a lot of I don't know, I'm yet to confirm this. A lot of suicidal cases
yeah true
among young men I don't know if there is someone who has worked on that data to see how many of them were in the university.
Yeah.
And how many, because you know, when you're in the university, number one thing is that it's classes and dormitory. Dormitory, labda mko watu wanne ama mnashare watu wa sita. It's always people that you don't know. They are very, wengine wanakuibia, so you're not even friends. Yani you just tolerate that environment because the government,
all kinds of people.
Yes, because the school has put you into that room. But ukiwa home, I might be stressed at night, but nikiamka nakutana na kolo tuna make fun nini. So those who are living within the universities, how is their mental state? That's a very important point. Yeah. But going back to creating spaces where
in the family.
Yes. If you ask me currently that, Edwin, how are you? Trust me, I'll answer you that question. But I might even take 1 hour answering that question. But I'll talk of everything apart from one thing. How I am. Kuniambia niaje unaendeleaje? Niko fine. Mtoi wangu ako hivi, bibi yangu hata jana alikuwa hivi, landlord wangu sijui nini. You know, we are speaking about everybody. Job. Especially men fall into this trap of talking about job.
Nime Google something on the male cases. Okay, the suicidal cases of male, and that I say it's true, and also the fact that, you know, when such cases happen in the institutions, they don't like share. So, but when I say in 2024 and 2025, there was an indication that suicide rates among male students becoming a significant concern.
Okay.
Compared to those of female.
Exactly. Amount of men committing suicide in the universities are high. But who is talking about them?
And there was something that you are saying. I learned that, I think in Kenya, I've not interacted with the outside world, but every time unaulizaga mtu kwaje, you know, kila mtu anakuambiaga niko poa, I'm fine. Like, ndio sasa anaweza text watu watano hapa, rada, nakwambia niko poa.
Yeah, just to take a poll of how many will tell you, I'm not fine today.
Yeah, see, on a serious, hata physically. Yeah. So, ni ngumu sana, ati hata kama ukweli uko na shida, kwambia kwaje niko poa. Yani mpaka anaweza
ni conditioning. Yeah. I give you another good example. Yeah. When you are young, every time around you, what was your parent pushing you to do? To keep quiet. Wageni wakikuwa
nyamaza.
Ukikuwa kwa gari, shh. Ukienda sijui wapi, shh. People have been conditioned to keep quiet. And so, but when you are young, you always want to speak out. Every time a child, hata ukiangalia watoto wadogo, children don't want to keep quiet.
Wanda kwa wacheze
waongee like they want to talk.
Jipake mafuta.
Anapata nini? Mgeni amekuja interview. Sasa unaitwa nani? They want to talk to.
Anko naona kwako.
But you see, we have conditioned later. We are bringing up families where things are not families, like elders, elderly people, where wrong things are happening and they're just quiet. Because they've been conditioned to keep quiet. I don't like this idea of mtu hata anaweza ibiwa na watu wanaangalia tu siku hizi.
Mpaka unaweza naye kwa nini uko umeweka hivyo? Unaanza kubebea juu wewe umeibiwa. Atukani wewe ujui ni.
I think it's the same thing. Yeah. The conditioning of people to keep quiet, the conditioning of people to say they are fine.
Yeah, and I'm just also an example. I don't know if it's yesterday, this guy mwenye alisimama ile gari ilikuwa inapita kwa the foot.
Yeah, niliona akakata kutoka.
Akakuja kusimama mbele ya like yeye peke yake. Sasa nauliza driver, ndaka sisi tutembee wapi? Umeacha barabara huko unakuja. And he was the only person, that is now wrong. Really, it's wrong, but he was the only person mwenye amesimama speaking about it. Wengine hadi walikuwa na mtusi, unatuchelewesha toka kwa nini akasema toki. I think yeah.
And apparently, even if I was not part of that conversation, I feel some little solidarity will be.
Yeah, would really help.
Really.
Hata watu kama wakume wangesoma naye itakuwa ngumu sana. Like because uko na barabara kubwa tu way kwanza. But aka pedestrian kadogo wewe pia unataka kujifix hapo hivyo. Hata unaenda wapi?
And we have cases that have worked where people have spoken and things have changed.
Yeah.
And they're always happening all over. So I don't know why we are not taking it as a normal, usual. Hata makanga wakifanyanga kitu moja itrend, hiyo kitu ina stop.
Yeah.
Hiyo kitu ina stop.
Sasa mambo ni mengi. People are minding their own business.
No, but
I think it's and we are conditioning society to be bad.
Yeah, you'll mind the problem is unaweza mind your own business until that business ikuwe wewe sasa.
Unakumbuka the other common saying we were saying? You mind your own business, mtu anaenda na shida zake until I decide his problem haitakuwa yake peke yake.
Yeah, lazima wewe utaisolve.
Then wewe mali ulikuwa unafikiria you are safe, his problem become your problem.
Okay, yeah. So
yeah, we are going to the now things that make
and I don't want let's just list a few also.
Tuko tumesema moja.
Yeah, cause tulishasema ile ya actually tumesema moja nimebeba points karibu 3. The institutions, the social institutions, we include the churches and then the government and then we can include now families.
I think your family pain is a cover personal initiative.
Yeah, personal initiative. Yeah. Okay.
So for you to become a male champion, just
because I believe like if we mwenyewe cause when ulikuwa umesema hizi organization wengine hawezi operate kubaliwa huko. So but wewe mwenyewe ukichukua jukumu wewe uende ama hata uweze tu kulan mwenyewe, I think itakuwa imesaidia cause ukisha learn I believe that utafunza mwenzako. Unaona? Ukifunza huyu afunze huyu already hiyo message itakuwa imesink kwa hata kama itakuwa the whole community but at least 1% watakuwa wamelearn from.
Yeah.
So pia ni personal initiative.
Okay.
We also mentioned about acceptance.
Yeah.
So young men and boys should accept that they don't know. Yeah, it's very important for you to know that you don't know, because you're not tukiendelea ku live on a pedestal that we always know everything. There is where things go wrong. And acceptance nilisema in 2 ways. It's male and boys accepting that they don't know, but it is also
accepting that men don't know.
Yeah. Right? Because if you know that someone doesn't,
acha tuseme men might not know. Tuseme hapo nilisema men don't know. Men might not know. Let's use might not know, because that means there is a possibility of or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no assumption that they know all. Yeah. So acceptance in 2 ways. What else? I think those were the things.
Yeah, major ones. Actually, yeah, I think those ones. Okay, that is a good part of the conversation that I want us to end. But before that, Collins,
yes,
one thing that you like to tell someone might be a male champion and they don't know is a male champion, or someone might be wondering how can they be a male champion, maybe anajishuku ajui hizo vitu.
Yeah.
Sasa unaweza mwambia nini huyo mtu?
I think what I can say is that you just do something that is good to everyone, because inaweza kuwa ni good but ni good kwako peke, but I believe if you are doing something that I feel like good to myself, to you and to everyone else in this community, like it would be a positive measure taken by one person.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, but usichoke, tuendelee tu kupigana. Yeah. Aluta continue.
Okay. Edwin?
I think safe communities is in the interest of everyone.
Yeah, true.
Saying that, then it means everyone should strive to ensure that
the community is safe. Okay.
So it's just upon us to know what that word safe means. Safe does not only mean that unaweza tembea saa 6 usiku na ukose kunyongwa. Safe would also mean that unaweza lia na watu wajue wenyewe you are in trouble. Yeah, so as a man, can you cry and people around you will know that, hey, we need to come to your rescue. As a child, would you know that, hey, you can ask for help and get it? Would you be safe that even if your father or your mother is not around, you're still safe?
Yeah.
As a girl, would you would you embrace your feminism in a way that then allows you to just unajua tumefika ile extent that girls have to be tough to survive. No. Just be baby girl. Be in a community and be a baby girl.
Okay, kwa baby girl saa hizo na wewe.
So that's what I'm talking about. Let's have communities that are safe for everyone to be who they are.
Yes.
Yeah. Hii maneno ya inafanya hata watu wana misinterpret empowerment. Yeah. Empowerment does not mean now you are tough and you don't listen to anyone. No, that's not empowerment. But can you be baby girl but still be empowered and be safe in your community?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can you be a man who can shed tears? Mi hata sikumbuki last one. Kama si ya kitunguu mi sijui. Yeah, can you it's a biological thing that needs to be there. Why can't you do it?
Ndalia nikiletwa maua.
Umengoja. Yeah, so let's just all strive to have. And I think in this case, pia tusijidanganya ati things are equal among everyone. In this case, having a safe community, I think is even better for men than anyone else. If we start thinking about it deeply, it's even better for men. Because the other side of the world is also very harsh for the same men. If, for example, when it comes to crime, when ulikuwa nasema that ukiwa na msichana wako na mumeona wezi, hata iliwe ukimbio muache, juu ya hata nyongwa, you as a man.
Hata pia soft, wewe utachapwa kwa.
So, among the two of you, mwenye hata nyongwa na mtata nyongwa, who should work so that the community is safe?
Unatoka mbia ni bibia na shindo.
What is happening?
Yeah.
Okay.
As a man, you're expected to be the lead of your family, right? Yeah. So meaning take care of your wife, take care of your children. If the community is not safe, who has more work?
Man.
Yeah, so if the community is safe, then unaweza kuachilia hata mtoto aende acheze hapo nje arudi. If it's not safe, hata mtoto unamfungia kwa nyumba ama. So I feel it's even better for men to ensure that the community is safer for everyone. Be a male champion. Call to action. Be a male champion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sawa. There we have it from the two male champions, and that brings us to the end of this conversation. It has taken longer than I anticipated. Nilikuwa nadhani tutachukua 30 minutes tumemaliza, but all in all, the information is home, and okay, I just want to put this out there. There are certain things that you mentioned that may be controversial. Controversial means you might have a different opinion about them. So don't hold our opinion against your opinion. So I just want to put it out there because I know we mentioned things on feminism, we're mentioning male champions, you're mentioning different things that are opinionated. So just know that this is our opinion, your opinion is right, and share your opinion so that you also learn from each other. Thank you for listening. And I want to, if you're listening and you are a green entrepreneur or an innovator, stay tuned for the next episode where we'll be talking about the challenges green entrepreneurs and innovators go through so that when you want to get in this field, you know what to look out for. Otherwise, that is it from me, from us. Until next time.